welcome to another episode of Talk Talk Punch. Thank you so much for joining us. I am Brody, joined by Tudong Dylan
Hey.
and the posh of these Spice Girls, Charlie Hickman.
Thank you for not referring to me as Old Spice or anything in that realm. Dylan's got to be Scary Spice, right? That's got to, that's like
Yeah.
locking in.
Absolutely.
Are you Baby Spice with your little tiny beard?
That works for me.
There you go. He does kind of look like a giant baby.
No, we were saying
Aw.
you, Brode.
Oh, me? Why am
Yeah,
I?
with your, I don't know why, but it fits somehow. Especially
right.
since you're the youngest.
You have to be sporty because Dylan's got red hair when he has hair, so he's also Ginger Spice, Scary Spice, and Baby Spice. So you got to be.
Oh, I'm
sporty.
Baby Spice.
I'll take
I'm
it.
like I'm multi-spice over here.
All right. Well, if you haven't already, we'd love if you guys subscribed, and then you can come back here every Wednesday to hang out with us and see what we're talking about. Just like this week's topic, we are ranking Tom Hanks movies. Now, the way that we do this is we gather some Tom Hanks movies, and we have to go with what we are familiar with, what the three of us remember, what we've seen, because there's some movies that Dylan has seen, I've never seen.
That's true.
Charlie's seen
That's
them
true.
all. So we kind of gather them up. So we take 10 well-known Tom Hanks movies. If you've never joined us for one of these rankings before, we're going to shuffle them up. I'm going to place them. Stuck there. It can always move. And we will come up at the end with the definitive Talk Talk Punch Tom Hanks movie list. Sometimes that's a lot to say.
You did it masterfully, man. You did it masterfully.
Oh, thank you.
I loved it.
All right. Let's go over to the movie. So, for our audio listeners, we have Forrest Gump, Toy Story 3, Big, Castaway, A League of Their Own,
Yeah.
Splash, Saving Private Ryan, Sleepless in Seattle, Catch Me If You Can, and Apollo 13.
There's any of these you haven't seen, Brode?
Oh, no, I've seen all these, but there's
Oh.
other Tom Hanks movies that not all of us seen. Like, I recently saw Fitch, the Apple TV one. But I don't think either of you guys have seen Fitch. And there's
That's
other
true.
movies that you guys have seen that I haven't seen. Or maybe I just haven't seen in a long time, and my brain can't go back that far to remember anything about the movie other than pretty sure I saw that one.
I can't believe you can't remember Splash, bro. Unbelievable.
Wait, no, Splash is on the list, Charlie. I remember Splash. It's on the
No,
list.
not on the list. Remove it. Put Joe versus Volcano on there. Do it.
Now you're talking.
Do it now. I'll tell you what I want, what I really, really want. And it's Joe versus the Volcano.
I think Joe versus the Volcano was on the short list, and then you guys removed it.
Preposterous, I say.
Don't you put that on us.
Preposterous.
All right, let's get into this.
I was still fighting for volunteers. Which
All right.
neither of you guys have seen.
I've seen it. You've shown me.
I've shown
that
you.
does not hold up that well.
It does not at all.
All right, so here we go. Now they're all shuffled. That was fast because I just have to do a click. All right, let's go ahead and get to it. Big.
Now
I haven't seen this movie in a long time, and from what I've read, this movie has not really held up.
What? I mean,
There's weird stuff.
it's true.
There's weird stuff in the movie.
There is weird stuff in the movie. I will say, wasn't Tom Hanks nominated for Academy Award for this movie? Anybody? No? I could have sworn he was.
You're thinking of Philadelphia.
Oh, that's
These are easy to
I
confuse.
get these.
So
I get them mixed up all the time,
Right.
folks. What do you guys think? Top 5 or lower 5?
okay, now I have watched this recently, and I have watched this with my kids. And let me tell you, as a father of now as in like 30 days from now, a 13-year-old boy, this is a weird movie, and there's a whole lot of cute, and Tom Hanks is a whole lot of charming, but also he's a 13-year-old boy who is instantly turned into an adult and then ends up getting it on with an adult lady. it's awkward, and it's awkward to watch with your family, much like trying to watch Back to the Future with your kids and trying to explain why the mom is trying to have sex with the
Yeah.
boy.
Yep.
It's an awkward, and I don't know. It didn't occur to me when I was a kid that it was weird, but certainly as a parent watching with my kids, I felt a heat
Sure.
of like, this is awkward. I don't remember it being this awkward. It's super awkward.
Yeah.
So for me, this is a bottom 5 now. I will forever have a place in my heart for the nostalgia. The dancing on the keyboard is something that I'm quite fond of. I love the
Sure.
story of how they showed up on sets and they were good. They saw stunt doubles dressed in their clothes and they're like, no, we're doing this ourselves, and they did it themselves. But also 13-year-old boy, adult woman, sexual relations, bottom 5.
When I saw this, even I thought to myself, it's odd. This is odd. I was like, he's an adult and like she's watching him, but now he's transformed to 13-year-old. It's odd. What are we thinking? 7, 8?
Yeah, I mean, I think maybe like the upper part of the bottom, maybe 7.
Okay,
I
let's
do
start
love
with
the
7.
upper part of the bottom, especially when it's big.
Gosh.
That'll
Wow.
All right. Next up, we have Toy Story 3.
do. Oh man.
So for me, the Toy Story movies have done something strange to me
Okay.
because
Go on.
Wow.
because
Don't know what you're gonna say.
I almost forget like who these actors are. It's like I know what Woody sounds like. I know what Buzz sounds like. And then I'm like, "Oh yeah, that's Tom Hanks." Like Woody is Tom Hanks. I almost like forget that Tom Hanks and Tim Allen are these characters and everybody else. But them especially, I'm like I do this and I'm like, "That's right. That is Tom Hanks, isn't it?" I don't know why. I don't know why. But this movie is great. I love this movie. This is very much a top.
So what are we thinking? 3 or 4?
I could start at 3. Charlie, what do you think?
This is a hard one to kind of gauge with some of the other ones. I love this film and it absolutely wrecks me emotionally, but it is fantastic. So definitely top 5. If we want to start at 3, that's great because I am curious to see how we feel, maybe pushing it up or down based on what comes around it. So 3's good for now.
I think
Man,
3. I think there could be potential to drop it, but I think 3 is. All right, next up, Apollo 13.
Now, have you guys seen this one lately? Because this one it does pretty much, it holds up. I actually saw a thing on the how historically accurate it is, and it was surprisingly historically accurate.
I haven't seen it past couple years, but I remember watching it when I was younger, like when it came out, and really liking it. Of course, I'm a sucker for space. Anybody who watches this knows that you put a movie in space and Brody's probably gonna, except Leprechaun. Um, but this
Leprechaun over here catching strays for no reason.
I really like this one. This is a top 5. Is this above or below Toy Story?
I think it's below Toy Story.
Think so?
Yeah, I put it 4 or 5 is probably good for me.
I say we start with 5. Start with 5. We can
Start
move it
with
up
5.
if it needs to be moved up. Start with 5.
And look at the symmetry. We have Toy Story 3, we have Apollo 13, and he was 13 years old and big. So we're starting off with a nice numerical symmetry. Will it continue?
All right, next up we have Castaway.
All right, now this is a movie I'm conflicted about because I think
Really?
he gives a very good performance. Yes, really, he gives a very good performance. I think his performance is heartwarming and touching, and his physical transformation is fantastic. He committed to this role. However, the way they wrote the Helen Hunt character, I do believe it was a big disservice just to the film in general, because having her being conflicted, I understand. Having her being married with kids and being conflicted, I do not understand. Like, not to that extent. I mean, It very much rubbed me the wrong way how her character was. I didn't like it. What do you guys think?
It's an interesting one, because look, you're right. He does give a great performance, and he makes you. They make the movie just sets it up in such a way that it makes you kind of care about a volleyball. Like
Yeah, yeah.
Sure.
it's pretty well done. And I wish that either I don't know how to I don't know how to frame this in the right way, but like the ending was almost like an afterthought, and just kind of like
Yeah.
Sure.
and I don't know that there's a way they could have resolved this, but like it's almost like a separate and equally interesting story, like what would happen upon his return, and they're trying to like resolve that emotional conflict and how crazy it would be to think that this man is dead, and then he shows up and he's very much alive, and like there's a whole story there, and it's kind of like, well, we got like 5 minutes. Let's
Yeah.
let's wrap this up. And so it's very the kind of an unsatisfying end in a way. So
Yeah.
this is bottom tier for me, but Tommy is fantastic in it, and good old Wilson. Forever, you could yell Wilson.
Absolutely.
So is this like a 6? Would you put this above or below Big?
I say start at 6. Start at 6. I put it above
Start at 6.
Big.
Okay.
Right, because I really like Castaway. I think I like Apollo
Castaway's good.
13 more.
Yeah, which is why 6 is good.
I like
This
6.
this film, by the way, 2 hours and 23 minutes.
Wow.
So the
A lot of
power of 3
threes.
continues.
All right, next up we have A League of Their Own. This is Charlie's number 1.
This is my number
Is
one
it?
for sure.
Is it really?
Oh yeah, I love this movie.
It's a baseball movie.
Oh yeah, that's true. That is good point. Go ahead and tell us, Charlie.
That doesn't have anything to do with it. Oh, this is such a good movie, and it look it's a great rewatch. This is one that I can revisit. This is like a soup and rainy day kind of feel good movie for me. Like just want something on the background that just makes me feel kind of gives me good vibes. Love this.
Yeah.
Tom Hanks is great. Gina Davis. The whole cast is fantastic. I still recapture my old baseball glory days on the slow pitch softball field with my co-ed softball team, and we still quote this movie. I like the high ones, and we have a. It's a very quotable film. It's a lot of fun. The Amazon show was very good too. Very different, but very good. But yeah, look. It's baseball. I'm a sucker for baseball movies. Fine. You want to discount my opinion? Fine. The best Tom Hanks movie of all time? Yes.
You haven't mentioned Tom Hanks yet.
I just did. I said Tom Hanks was great. And I said Gina Davis was great. And I said the whole cast is great. And then at the end, I said,
I remember him saying
it's the best Tom Hanks movie of all time. So that's Tom Hanks twice.
Dylan, where would you put this?
I would put this at 1 or 2. I could see 1 or
Really?
2 because I have to say, hey, Tom Hanks in this. But when I started watching Tom Hanks back when he was doing television, doing Bosom Buddies, doing like Volunteers, which yes hasn't hold up, he was not a nice guy. He was, and in Dragnet, he was a slut, and he was very sarcastic. And then next thing you know, he comes back and he's like this nice guy, and that's it. And I was like, but it was one of those kind of, you see the return to when he was just a scumbag. He's sarcastic, he is surly, he is drunk, he is mean, but he also has that lovability. Like this was him really stretching it because it's not him just being lovable, and it's not him just being a one-note sarcastic jerk. He gave nuance, and he was really like putting it in there. And everybody else, like you said, Charlie, Gina Davis, unbelievable. It's amazing that she came into the movie at like the last minute. They'd started filming, and Deborah Winger had dropped out of the film, and she came in there last minute, knocked it right out of the park. I was flabbergasted when I saw that. And Madonna was even acting in this. Donna,
Yeah.
Rosie O'Donnell, they were like really putting into it. And it was, like you say, it's excellent. Like I said, 1 or 2 makes sense to me.
Gordy hates baseball so much that he wants this at number 8. That's how much he hates baseball.
No, I wasn't gonna say number 8.
But you were gonna say number.
I was thinking like 5, 13.
Let me tell you this. Tom Hanks is a masterful actor. masterful. We care about these characters a lot of the times, and it's not just because it's Tom Hanks. He makes us care about them, but sometimes they're not exactly as three-dimensional as they seem. You know, the guy in Castaway wasn't exactly as three-dimensional. I mean, it was harrowing what he was going through, and he had all that. In Apollo 13, we couldn't. I mean, besides Houston, we have a problem. He was very. He had to be a leader, and he had to be strong. And Woody, you know, he's funny, but in this one, it's nuanced, Road. I mean, it's not even him just acting like a 13-year-old. Nuanced performance, like a layered one.
Layers, like an onion.
All right.
If you're unconvinced, just go ahead and we'll start with 2. How about that? If it makes you feel any better.
Love Toy Story.
Makes you feel
3?
less.
You don't even like Toy Story 3. You said you wanted to move it down lower. You said, and I quote, I can't even remember that Tom Hanks is in that. Is what you said.
No, that's not what I said.
You said it might as well have been his brother Jim Hanks.
No.
You can Bing it, folks. They look a lot alike. He was in a car commercial once. Drove a lot of people crazy. Really thought it was Tom.
All right, next up we have Splash.
And this one I grew up with. This is one where he was transitioning. He was a nice guy, but he also was so sarcastic. John Candy gave his performance in this one. He gave one of his best. I absolutely love a lot of his one-liners. They are so funny. But when he was just like, all right, either way, this would be my number 1 because I think his performance in this is fantastic. Romantic lead and completely sarcastic. I actually rewatched this recently, and it totally did hold up. Still very funny. He was so neurotic in this movie. So neurotic, and yet still so lovable. He was I'd compare it to Jack Nicholson in As Good as It Gets. Like he was, except he was a lot more lovable. He was completely neurotic in this. Like you watch it again, his performance is very nuanced. And it did really well, which is surprising because he was although likable, he was an unlikely romantic lead character.
But look at that face that Brody's making. This is not making it into the top 5. So where are you slotting it, Brody?
Charlie, where are you putting it?
This is probably a bottom 5er for me, as much as it might break my heart to break Dylan's heart. But if you said tonight I had to watch this or Castaway, I'd probably rather watch Splash, just like as like a casual watch.
Well, I think I agree with that.
But if you said what's a better movie, I'd say Castaway is a better movie and he's a better actor in it. But
what if it went to 6 Splash and we moved the other ones down?
I could do 6.
I forgot to mention in A League of Their Own, because we have a theme going, that Pepper Perry Davis died February 2013 at the age of 88. She was one who kind of served as an uncredited consultant. She played in the actual league. And the fictional character of Dottie Henson is kind of based on her, Gina Davis's character. And in Splash, Daryl Hannah's Finn weighed 35 pounds. So we continue the 3s.
All right, next up we have Forrest Gump.
All right, on we go. This is oh boy. I don't know that I like this movie that much. And I don't know if that's just like me being a curmudgeon at this point in my life. I don't know if I'm still angry about it winning the Oscar over Shawshank. I don't know. What are we doing here?
So for me, this is a movie that I think it's a good movie, but I don't know. I can't think of a mood that I would be in where I'd be like, let's sit and watch Forrest Gump. I don't know. I don't know if it's just too much of a drama. But I like dramatic. But like I don't know. If kind of like with Charlie's example of like, oh, what do you watch? You want to watch Castaway or Splash? I'd probably watch any of the movies that we have up here.
Where would you put it, Brode? Come on. What do you think, Charlie?
It sounds so harsh.
but it's a
I
good
might.
movie.
It is a good movie. Um, I, I mean, look, it's a bottom fiver to all time Tom Hanks for me, which is weird to say. The music, Silvestri, beautiful.
Oh,
Really love the
Sylvester's
feather
always good.
theme. The music is fantastic, and obviously Tom Hanks gives a very good performance in the film. Um, but I will say
So
I saw this in the theaters once, and I thought this is good, and then I had to go back and see it again on a date, and I fell asleep, and I stand by that reaction. I feel like that has been my kind of like feelings about it ever since. Like I'm really glad that I saw it once, and now if you made me watch it, I would fall asleep again and again. So yeah, probably 8, 9. That's probably fine. Is that count? Is this a hot take? This might be the hottest take we have on the show tonight.
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna say we could move Big down to 9 and put Forrest Gump over.
are you? It seems like Charlie would be awake and disturbed watching Big instead of asleep and bored watching Forrest Gump. Is this a
Not bored.
fair statement,
Not bored.
Charlie? Does it sound?
All right, two
It's just a soothing
You're like not
film.
bored, just asleep.
Tudong, where would you put Forrest Gump?
Wow, like
This is Dylan's number one.
Dylan's number one.
no. There's a lot of things that make me angry about this film. So, I mean, although I love the performances, I love like Tom Hanks I love the fact that he won the Academy Award, and I'm also, I don't care about the Oscars, but I mean, I don't know, but I mean, if it put you to sleep, I'm kind of surprised. I don't know. I mean, you're like, but I put it over Big, and I'm like, over Big? You're like, really? I'm almost thinking maybe we should put it
I'm
at
scarred
10
by
if you
that.
fell asleep.
No, it's this. We got stuff coming.
Well, then let's put it at 9 for now. How about that?
9.
All right, that's fine. There's some real weird stuff in the Forrest Gump movie. There's some the Robin Wright pen stuff is real weird.
Yeah.
Oh,
All
I
right.
like this one.
Sleepless in Seattle.
This one he gets really romantic, and people were buying it this time. He did this one right, and he did it. He still was neurotic. I don't know how he does it. Lovable, neurotic, sarcastic. Yeah, he cemented that romantic lead with this one, definitely.
Bro, you hate things that are romantic. What are your feelings about this movie?
It's a good movie.
You hear the voice go up? Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, come on, Charlie. Stop analyzing my talking.
Never.
Anyways,
This for me, this would probably be like a 5 and move Apollo 13 up.
you like this better than Apollo 13? Oh, move it up. Oh, okay.
Oh,
you
yeah.
like Apollo 13 better.
I like Apollo 13 more than this.
Now,
I'm good with that.
I'll say this. Now, and I'm not arguing. You can go ahead and do that if you want. I don't like the whole. You can move it, bro. I'm good. I'm just
Okay.
explaining this as you move it. I don't like how it was done with Bill Pullman. Like, oh, it's just, I'm just going to go ahead and break up. Like, that entire scene was gut wrenching, and the fact that he was just like, huh, well, yeah, it's okay, no problem. And so in that case, what she's doing is fine. I mean, I thought that really sucked.
They really. I rewatched this recently with my wife. We were just looking for a nice little rom com, and I forgot like how schlubby they made Bill Pullman.
Yeah.
That awkward dinner scene with her family is like so uncomfortable.
Yeah,
and because I have often also thought back on that movie and been like, poor Bill, and then as I'm rewatching, I'm like, oh no, he he really needs to get out of here.
But I mean, still, that sucked, and also that stuff with Tom Hanks' wife was gut wrenching. That was so sad.
And this has become quite the trope where the man's kind of like loses his wife and then like goes on a journey to find happiness and become better. It's kind of been a very overplayed trope. I imagine
Indeed.
it was more attractive back in the day when you're kind of thinking of like how to set up a romance with a man who's single, but not because like he's a flawed person,
right?
Like kind of setting up that vulnerability factor as like a romantic cliche to kind of draw people in. He's a great guy. He just happens to have a dead wife. Not his fault. Yeah. so so there's some things that are kind of like, but Meg Ryan and Tom Hanks, they have a great chemistry. So good, they
Sure.
did it again. They sent mail to one another. There's I'm a sucker for these 90. These are the rom-coms of my youth. So there's always like an extra bit of nostalgia attached. Also, 1993, and I will say that Forrest Gump was rated PG-13.
Oh, nice.
All right. Next up, we have Catch Me If You Can.
It's a good one. Oh shoot, I forgot.
I like this one too. Tom Hanks doesn't give quite the nuanced performance in this as he has with some of the others, at least. But I will say, it was good kind of seeing him being more. He was a little bit more harder edged in this one. It seemed like he was like trying to veer away from the nice guy thing, which can be refreshing. I will say Leonardo DiCaprio did a very good job. This is when I started, like, this is in that era people started taking him a lot more seriously, and understandably, because he was giving some really good performances, like just like this one.
This has got to be one of the best movies that I constantly forget exists.
Yeah.
And I don't know what it is. I mean, it's a good movie, and whenever I remember it exists, I'm like, oh, it's a good movie. I should watch that again. But then like a goldfish, as soon as I've had that thought, I'm like, well, Tom Hanks and Leo have never been in a movie together. I don't know what you're talking about.
And Christopher Walken, who plays Leonardo DiCaprio's
dad,
is walking over here.
Christopher Walken.
He's like, hey, where you going tonight? How are you going?
All right. So where are you guys thinking?
I have this one probably maybe 7 or 6. 6 or 7. Does that sound reasonable?
So above Castaway?
But below Splash.
Yeah, I guess we can't put anything else above Splash because that's still number 1. What are we putting number 1? I know what's last. I don't want that to be number 1.
I can't remember what's last. Bro, go ahead. Let's we'll push everything else down. I knew that Forrest Gump was going to be 10.
Poor Forrest Gump.
So so above Castaway.
Yeah,
I think so. It's a fun movie. Although, I guess maybe it's more. You could say more Leo than Tom.
All right. Next up, Saving Private Ryan.
Very
definitely
tough
not my
watch.
not my one. This is not my one.
Yeah, this is a
League of Their Own. That's
watch.
everybody. I know that Brody's been clamoring to move League of Their Own up. He wants that in the number 1 spot. Brody, I'm sorry that I've been arguing with you and fighting with you. I take it back. You're right. Let's move it to that number 1 spot.
Well, where would you put Saving Private Ryan?
10?
10? No.
Now, I'll say this. I would, if we're just going on watchability, I would put this below Forrest Gump because I don't know if I don't really want to revisit this movie, bro. I saw it twice, and both times it was harsh. It's a tough. What kind of a mood do I have to be in to where I'm like, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to turn on Saving Private Ryan. I have no clue. When I went to go see that, I didn't quite understand exactly what I was going to see. Nowadays, I don't know if I would have seen it, but I mean, like, I did, and I'm glad that I did. And it was a very well done movie. It was an excellent movie. And he gives a phenomenal performance, Tom Hanks does, along with most of the people on there. It's an all-star like list. When you got Ted Danson, it's an all-star cast. But I mean,
Barry Pepper, baby.
Barry Pepper as the crazy sniper. I mean, he was fantastic. He even had Vin Diesel before he was Fast and Furious. Maybe, I don't know. Either way.
Yeah, it was before Fast and Furious.
45-minute mark, you can hear him say Groot.
However, I mean, it is a visceral experience. It is, you do not forget it, which is, I mean, like, the rewatchability is not high, at least for me. So, I mean,
it's a good movie.
It's a very good movie. It is excellent. Steven Spielberg, like, did he win Best Director for this? Because I mean, it makes sense, but I wouldn't want to revisit it.
Yeah. See, I feel like I could revisit this. I feel like this is one where I could sit down and I could.
Well, where would you put it, bro?
But
I
why don't
would-
you then? Why would
I-
that
Yeah,
make me watch it?
yeah, that's a good question. That's an excellent question.
I would probably put it. I could move League of Their Own up.
Hey, all right.
I was thinking maybe like 4 or 5 for Saving Private Ryan.
Okay.
I
will
would
concede to
put
that
this
for
I
you.
would put this above
Like it.
Splash. How about that? And maybe over Sleepless in Seattle. But I know right now you guys are not going to go for that.
Well, Saving Private Ryan and Splash have such similar plots. It's like
I mean, it's true. I get them confused. Sometimes I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna watch Splash, and then I'm just watching Saving Private Ryan.
It
You're like,
really
"Wait a
irritated
minute,
me.
What happened?
It really irritated me that they cast Matt Damon as the lost guy, because you just knew there was no drama in like them like, oh,
Yeah.
is this the right guy? Like, oh,
You-
well, Matt Damon hasn't been in the movie yet. I wonder if he's gonna show up at some point.
Bit of trivia. The guy that they run into, the guy that they find, the Saving Private or the Private Ryan before Matt Damon, was played by a young Nathan Fillion. He was the one who was like, "Oh, my brothers are dead, really?" But they were like in school. What are they doing to get killed? It's like, how did they die? Like, they died in combat, but they're only 12. What? How is it possible?
All right, so I've moved
Fillion.
League of Their Own, Toy Story 3, and Apollo 13 up.
Woohoo!
Where?
All right, bro.
Okay, so where's this falling?
I noticed that you just left the number 4 space open, bro. I don't
Well,
know how I
I'm
missed it.
just throwing it out there.
Where's it
Conveniently
going?
enough, there happens to be
Where's
this empty
it
spot.
going?
This was the highest spot that I said I would put it. So I figured I would move this and then we'll talk about it. So do you guys want Sleepless in Seattle over Saving Private Ryan?
I want Splash over Saving Private Ryan, personally.
Okay, so you're thinking Splash going to number 5, Saving Private
Okay.
Ryan
All
being
right,
number
well, wait a minute.
6.
Well, okay, maybe that seems a little odd. Go ahead and put Splash back down to 6 and Saving Private Ryan at 5. That makes more sense. When I looked at it, I came to my senses. Hello? Wait a second. What am I saying?
Yeah.
All right.
I could. If you told me that we had this one above Sleepless in Seattle, I would not be offended by that. It is, I think, just without any bias attached, it's just empirically a better film. It is an incredible work of cinematic achievement. So if you want to argue that weights more than my nostalgic romantic feelings towards a rom-com, I can concede to that, and that's fine.
Tudong?
You gave me League of Their Own at number 1, so I'm feeling very agreeable.
Hey, I agreed with a League of Their Own where it is. So if you wanted to switch it and put Saving Private Ryan at 4, it makes sense. Sleepless in Seattle is still top 5.
That. All right. How are we feeling about that? Anything else need to move? Happy with that bottom half?
I think so.
Yeah, that looks good. That looks good.
I mean, the bottom half just kind of came out. The upper half moved around a bunch.
Yeah, no, that's good. That makes sense.
That seems pretty solid. Right.
I'm good with it. I like it.
All right.
Okay. So here are the official Talk Punch rankings of our selection of Tom Hanks movies. At number 10, we have Forrest Gump. Number 9, we have Big. Number 8, we have Castaway. Number 7, we have Catch Me If You Can. Number 6, we have Splash. Number 5, we have Sleepless in Seattle. Number 4, Saving Private Ryan. Number 3, Apollo 13. Number 2, Toy Story 3. And number 1, A League of Their Own.
Nice.
Just like Charlie wanted.
Now I know that you are still watching this video, are dying to know what the connection to the number 3, the last 2 movies have. So I'm here to tell you that that Saving Private Ryan, the events of that film take place between June 6th and June 13th. Can't make
Ah,
this up. So come on, let me just tell you. And
it's eerie.
it is eerie, and yet it is totally understandable. Now, in Catch Me If You Can, in the beginning scene where he's forging the checks and he had like things rolled on, it was equivalent to about $13,161. Also
Yeah,
taking
that's
place
true.
at 38 minutes and 15 seconds into the film. So
Amazing, Charlie.
It's
hey,
truly amazing.
you don't get these kind of facts on any other channel. This
No,
is a
you
Talk
don't.
Talk Punch. Uh, this is trivia that you can take to the bank. To the bank.
Nice.
All
Charlie's
right.
gem
Y-
trivia. It's
You
truly
guys,
amazing.
you guys have anything else to add to this?
That's
That thing you
perfect.
do should have been on the list. It's not. That's okay. Brody's never seen it. He has a terminal case of not seeing Tom Hanks films. No big deal.
That's the one that I'm like, I think I've seen it, but I don't know if I've seen it. I don't know if I could tell you much about it, other than it's about a band.
Brody hates baseball movies and movies about bands. All of my passions make
That's
Brody
not true.
so angry.
That's not. Hey, you tried to put my space movie down at.
And see how successul that was, bro.
That doesn't sound like me. I just was doing it as a negotiating chip to get my baseball movie hired.
Yes, that's right.
All right.
I will say that you are in a league of your own, and we just love that you were able to share this time with us talking about old charming Tommy Hanks. Let us know your favorite Tom Hanks films. Maybe give us a list of your top 5, your top 10 movies that you love of his that didn't make the list for one reason or another. And let us know what numbers 3 you see out in the world today, because we're big here on the number 3, because there's 3 of us at Talk Talk Punch. And so we love that number, and we love you. We will look forward to seeing you next time. Make sure you click that like and subscribe below that beautiful beard. And we will see you next time. We want to be with you. That's a callback to the Spice Girls. Want to be. Always good when you got to explain it.
Bye.